Welcome back to another episode. It's me, my co-host Dre, as always. Um, Man, we're gonna just jump right into this Monday Night Football game. One of the craziest games I've seen, craziest game plans I've ever seen from Bill Belichick. Um, yeah, man, Pats versus Bills. Just a little background if you didn't see the game. Patriots ran the ball 46 times against the Bills, and they threw the ball an amazing 3 times. Mac Jones had 2 completions, like a little 8-yard pass to a tight end and a little screenplay. So, I mean, the win was crazy up there and things like that. But, I mean, that's just a crazy game plan to execute.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing about it was the Bills were still playing like their offense, like they're still throwing. Because I mean, granted, yeah, Josh Allen has a strong arm, so he should be able to do something against the win. But it was completely, even though they're the home team, they were at a disadvantage because they do not have a run game whatsoever. And then with the Patriots just saying all we're doing is running, I really felt like like those Madden games when you're playing against someone that's like super good, you know what they're going to do, but you just can't stop it. That's literally what that game felt like last night watching it. 46 runs, 3 passes. I don't know if we'll ever see something like that. Even in the snow game that we had years ago, the Eagles and Lions, we still threw more than 3 times and you could barely see like 2 feet in front of you. So, I mean, it's crazy, but hey, they pulled it out. The defense played great. That was a great adjustment by the corner at the end of the game because he was beat. Like he was absolutely beat. If Josh Allen had just thrown to Beasley, like that would have been game. But hey, it is what it is, and the Patriots pulled it out.
Yeah,
and
man,
I did pick that game, so I'm just throwing.
You got weapons in your hand, but anyway, yeah, Bill Belichick, man, he gets on my nerves. I have a love-hate relationship with him. So good at his job, but that's why I hate him, just because he's so good at his job. I'm sure he told the OC McDaniels, hey, we're not throwing the ball today. I don't care what you got planned over there. We're running the ball every play, and that's just what we're going to do. And then after the game,
I think the season has proven to me that it was just Tom Brady that I didn't like, because I'm liking what I'm seeing from Bill Belichick this season. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from Tom Brady. He's in a completely different area. So yeah, it was just Tom Brady I didn't like.
Yeah, with Belichick after the game, like that's why we practice in this shit and things like that, because he is notorious for practicing in the snow, the rain, doesn't care about his indoor facility. They will not go in there because Bill Belichick is a maniac. And honestly, he's either the best coach of all time or the second best coach of all time. Not just being in football in general. It's either him or Nick Saban. They still fighting for this title, and it's probably never going to end because they're both psychopaths. So one of them is the best coach of all time. That's to be determined at this point. But yeah, man, he got the Patriots rolling, and they're number one in the AFC. I almost said the West. I don't know why basketball's on my mind. The number one in the AFC, which kind of leads me into this playoff race, man. The playoff race is absolutely insane. NFC and AFC. Obviously, the rule change is 17 instead of 6, which makes it even crazier. It's going to take more time for teams to get eliminated, and they added an extra game. It's just a whole bunch of nonsense going on. What's your thoughts on the playoffs so far, or the playoff run or competition?
So, since we were just talking about the Patriots, they have sole possession of first place as of right now in the AFC. Even if the Bills win out and the Patriots don't win the division, I'm pretty sure at worst they're a wild card team. Patriots
they're a lock. I wrote some locks down. The Pats are a lock. They're basically a lot.
The Chiefs are starting to hit their stride. They're still not necessarily like the same offense, but they're winning again. The defense is playing a lot better than they were at the beginning of the season. So I'm pretty sure that's a lot, especially with the rest of the AFC West kind of not playing the way they were all on fire at the beginning of the season besides the Chiefs, and now roles are reversed. The AFC North, once again, is one of those divisions where it's like as soon as you see a team that has like a grasp on the division, they lose it. So it's like Lamar's played. He didn't play bad last game, but it just wasn't like a Lamar-esque game. And then the game 2 weeks ago, he threw 4 interceptions. The Browns started hot, and then they've been falling ever since. Like the week 4, week 5, something like that. Bengals, they blow someone out and then they get blown out. Like they have great wins and terrible losses.
They're the definition of like a 500 team. They're just gonna win, lose, and it's just hopefully they can get that one game above 500 with the extra game.
So with the Steelers coming in, the Steelers have, in my opinion, the best coach in the division. So don't count them out. But
and then the Ravens lost Marlon Humphrey for the year. So
right, and their injuries just keep stacking up. So it's just like I don't know. I still think the Ravens will pull it out some type of way, but
I wrote them down as a lock for the playoffs, but not for the division. They have 8 wins. They just need one more win, and they're basically in. 9 wins in the AFC is probably going to get you in, but depending on tiebreakers and stuff like that. But so I wrote Pats, Chiefs, Ravens, and I threw Tennessee in there as a lock because I think they'll get to 9 wins. They just have to win one more. So they're not a lock, but the lock on the gate, we just didn't lock it yet.
And really, depending on how many division games they have left, the only team that should give them, even though they lost to the Texans, the only team that really should give them fits is Indy. But I think they've already played twice.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, Jacksonville and Houston. So, they should easily get that final win. So that rounds up the AFC.
Especially after sweeping the Colts. Yeah, they'll definitely be in.
Yeah. So that rounds out the AFC, and with the wild card, I can't even really tell you who's going to get in.
Yeah, it's too early. It's too early.
Like it's just so many teams are playing good, so many teams are playing bad. Like, and then each week it changes. So I don't know. On the NFC side, I've got the Cardinals as a lock. I do not have the Cowboys as a lock. I do have them as a high % chance of winning the division. But with Washington going on this tear right now, Dallas really isn't playing all that well. Yeah, they just beat the Saints this past week, but let's chalk it up to that
team.
Yeah, that wasn't even a full Saints squad, and it's not like the game was a blowout. Like it was kind of close, and it's just some bad turnovers at inopportune times. But with Washington being right there, and Washington and Dallas have to play each other twice. Dallas has to play us again, and we're a much different team than what we were in week 3. So it's just, all kinds of stuff could happen. I give them a 90% chance of winning the division. But hey, who knows? And then even if Washington doesn't win the division, they could sneak in as a wild card. Let's see here. In the AFC, or not AFC, in the NFC West, I already said Cardinals are a lock. San Francisco, they just lost a tough game to the Seahawks.
I think the Rams, for me, I got the Rams as a lock. They're 8-4. I think they just need one more win.
They're a wild card. It's gonna.
They're gonna just be a wild card because, I got it written down. I got Cardinals, Packers, Bucks, Cowboys, Rams. They're basically all locked. The Cowboys and the Rams need to win one more game.
Packers don't really have any.
Yeah,
even though they lost to the Vikings, they really don't have competition. Packers, I don't want to say competition, but Bucks, they don't have like someone to worry about in their division.
Yeah, Cards, Packers, Bucks are 100% locks. They're in. They're just gonna make it. Rams and Cowboys are 95% in.
Speaking of the Packers and the division, I know this has nothing to do with the playoffs, but just shout out to the Lions for not going this entire season without winning a game.
Hey, man. Hey, took the last. I don't know what they were doing on that 4th down on their side of the field. That's just such a Lions. I mean, I don't know what the hell they were doing, but
that is literally, as someone, Mike Zimmer, Kirk Cousins, that really like sums up their tenure together with the Vikings.
And the best part about that, them getting that win, is we got to saw Jared Goff's wife's reaction, and I'm gonna leave it at that. If you know, you know, and that's all I gotta say. But back to the NFC playoffs.
So I think the Cardinals are a lock. San Francisco can get into the wild card. It kind of hurts that they just lost to San Francisco, but that's
I got it.
Tough
I
game.
got it written down. This is from the wild card. This is the 6 seed, which is Washington right now, all the way to the 12 seed. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams that are 6-6. Or 5-7. So it's just 7 teams fighting for 2 spots. It's Washington, San Fran, Eagles, Vikings, Panthers, Falcons, Saints. So obviously Panthers, Falcons, Saints, they're going to play out because they play each other throughout the rest of the year. So one of those teams may have a shot. The other 2 is probably going to be out of there. Then it's Washington, San Fran, Eagles, and Vikings. It's just going to be tough. It's only 2 spots. Yeah, it's just gonna be Washington plays Dallas twice, so that could be a great thing for them or a terrible thing if they get swept.
And the thing for us is we don't play Dallas the last game of the year. So if Washington goes in and they beat Dallas and Washington loses, a game in between, because I think they have to play the Giants again. And let's say we continue on, the little winning streak that the little winning, path that we got going right now. Hey, anything could happen. Yeah, so it's like the locks are a lock, but it's just the fact that really any of these teams, because here's the problem with these wild card teams, with us not knowing or anybody even being kind of close. Those are the teams to be worried about, because those are the teams that now, like, they're going to be in a rhythm, be in a groove. These teams that are locked, you know, at a certain point, they're going to start resting people. They're going to start just, you know, being focused on the playoffs, not worrying about. So they're going to check out mentally for the regular season. So and that's how Washington almost beat, you know, Tampa Bay last year, even though they're both wild card teams. But well, Washington won the division. But
all right, and I'm eliminating the Panthers from the discussion. I just looked at their schedule. They're
they got to play Tampa twice.
Yeah, they're done. They play the Bills, Tampa twice, and the Saints. They may win a game.
Just fired their offensive coordinator.
Yeah. I'm gonna eliminate them from this conversation. But they're 5-7, so hey, man, you never
lost
never
McCaffrey.
You never know. The Vikings
they lost another corner.
Vikings have a tough schedule too. I might just have to eliminate them too. They got Steelers, Bears, Rams, Packers, Bears. So yeah, that's not looking too good.
Their biggest, you know, kind of help would be if the Packers are kind of resting people in that Week 16 game.
It's gonna be tough when it's only one bye now, so they're gonna be fighting for that 1 seed. So I doubt that's happening.
And the fact that the Packers own the tiebreaker over the Cardinals, so
yeah,
the Cardinals
they're gonna have to fight. They're gonna have to fight all over the Week 17, 18, or whatever the hell many weeks it is at this point. So yeah, man, it's looking tough, man. Let us know who y'all think should be in the playoffs, because at this point it's too early to call. It's 12 teams.
Just as worse as trying to find an MVP for the season.
Yeah, man, it's 12 teams alive at this point, both AFC and NFC. I don't know who to choose. I think the Saints are going to make the playoffs. If you tell me that, you know, explain how, I can't answer.
Hey,
I can't answer.
Jalen Hurts don't play much better. We already know our backup can get the job done.
Minshew Mania, man. Shout out to him. He held it down in fantasy for me this week. Just a 1 week plug and play. Shout out to Minshew Mania. But yeah, man, like I said, let us know who y'all think gonna make it, you know, to the playoffs. I have no idea. I said this, I think 2 or 3 episodes ago. If I see Tom Brady versus Bill Belichick in the Super Bowl, I swear to God, it's just
you know, the NFL wants that so bad.
Yeah, bomb threat gonna be called. I didn't say that. NFL definitely wants it. Oh my God, that's gonna settle the debate in everybody's mind.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give this to you real quick before we check out. So the storylines that the NFL wants for the Super Bowl: number 1, Patriots, Buccaneers. That's the ultimate Super Bowl.
100%.
The next one would be a rematch of Patriots and Rams, because they would want to see, hey, did McVay learn from you know, his last time?
And they've played a couple times in the Super Bowl already, so that's almost like a little Super Bowl rivalry at this point.
And then the other thing would be Chiefs and Bucks again, and it would be the same thing. Did the Chiefs learn from their mistakes? Are they different with a healthy team versus the Bucks, and you know, stuff like that? So I think those are the top 3 matchups.
I think an underrated matchup would be Cardinals versus the Ravens, just with 2 quarterbacks that are just like insanely dual threat, which is obviously the whole league's going to be that in probably.
If the Ravens make it to, I think they'll get into the playoffs. But if they,
I don't think they're making the Super Bowl. No, I don't think that's happening.
Then that means Lamar was playing out of his mind.
For sure, I don't think they're making it, but I think that'll be a nice match. I would rather watch that than any of the matchups we've mentioned already, just because I want everybody and I want all of those teams to lose. So don't want Aaron Rodgers to win. Don't want Tom Brady to win. Don't want the Patriots to win. So yeah.
So you want fresh blood in the
I just give me the fresh blood, as long as it's not Dak. I'll take that.
I'm cool with that.
Don't want the Bucks. Don't want the I don't want anybody. Yeah, it's probably gonna be Saints versus Ravens. That's my preseason prediction. I'm sticking with it. I don't care. But yeah, man. This will be it for this episode. We'll be back next week as always, man. This is the Brew Tragedies, and we out. Peace.